Jazzcast Pros.
Fatherhood Unveiled. Unveil the rights, the duties, and emotional resilience. Let's not beat a dead horse, and I know I speak about, emotions and mental health and things of that nature, but let's do some fine-tuning. I'm all about fatherhood. I represent and illustrate the good and bad between fatherhood, being a man and manhood, and then overall being a parent. Whether single, full, together, distant, you name it. Greetings. Welcome to Fatha Torch, the podcast to help you, the new and new fathers, cope with the anxiety and stress of fatherhood so that you can be the father that you wish to have. I'm your host, Ra, founder of Unveiled Foundation and artist, a father of 9. My mission is to help you reclaim your power and ease your concerns about being a father in today's social climate. Today's episode is all about fathers, as always. Let me first speak the truth and represent my sponsor. From the jump, enough respect to Creative Pizza. You have done wonders to my comfort foods, thought, being, spirit, you name it. But nonetheless, try Creative Pizza, 766 Monroe Avenue, Rochester, New York, across the street from Speedway. Ask for the Fatha Torch special. Let your taste bud speak the truth. I'm just going to leave it as that. It is emotionally fulfilling for me, and it's something that is dear and close because it reminds me of the times me spending with my grandmother, and this was one of our comfort foods, our building bridge, if you will. Let's talk about father's rights and duties. Let's discuss the father's legal, societal rights and regarding parenting, right? Custody and decision-making, the responsibility and duties in raising the, right, and nurturing the child, sharing, stories that highlight the challenges and triumphs, right, in fatherhood, right? Especially in today's society and world. There's many men today that don't have the custody or the decision-making in their child's life, and they should take part in it, and they should be a part of it. They should not be withheld from it, which we all know the reality is there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of double stabbing, double dipping, ignorance, blatant ignorance, and spitefulness when it comes to fatherhood. On both ends, of course, but mostly towards the father. Being a father nowadays is a joke. There's no rights. You are diminished, because how can you say I am a parent as a man, a father, if I don't share the same equal rights and responsibility, not only just in the family, but even in the law? I don't share that right. I have the right to help create it. I have right to appropriate. But I don't have right to discipline. I don't have right to focus. I don't have right to help stimulate and instill development and well-being, fulfillment in the child's life. I don't have that right. At least if I do, it's not displayed, it's not honored, and it's not welcome. It is getting so bad to the degree that men cannot even make decisions that is best and beneficial to the child, if not say the mother. If the mother does not say, it does not happen. In the law, especially for the black and brown, the law supports it. It supports such confusion and division in the family and the structure, especially in the black family, that is almost a norm. It's a living now. It's been structuralized, it's been conditioned, it's been rewashed and dried into the DNA of our people. And the reason why I say almost a norm, because it's not all of us who do it. But the ones who are doing it are advertised, displayed, marketed, right? For such lifestyle, such liberty. And Rasta, I tell you, John, know that this is so wrong in so many ways. It's damaging emotionally, it's damaging physically, and it's damaging to the child. Because you ever look at a child and see their heart being broken daily, and they wonder why they are so corrupt and destructive. There's no authority in their life, and the authority that's in their life is so emotional, distraught, and out of place that there's no respect there. Once they get the sense of their power and their sense of their existence, look at our children now. Look at them. No fathers to guide them. No fathers to help mold them. And mind you, I say the word help mold them. That means we share responsibility. And I'm being denied this every day of their life. My worth and my contribute all depends on my currency and ranking of what I make, who I am, what I stand for and rank. It's crazy. It's crazy out here, but this is the highlight of the challenges and the triumphs of fathers facing in these days in this role. There's no sense of unity, love, and overstanding. It's all about the pain. It's always about the pain. It's always about the pain. When are we going to have a resolve? Where's the hope and the unity and the love? When we was out here slamming and jamming and joking, how come we didn't have that same kind of spitefulness in that realm? You mean to tell me that the woman that I select is my own death sentence? My own headache? I mean, to some degree, I can see that happening. But so much? My Lord, we have to come better. We have to come better. We must value and understand the responsibility of a father. The father helps, okay? Helps within that duty of nurturing the child by using discipline, logic. It's not less of emotion, but yet it's put in place to help structuralize that development. Let me say this again. Help structuralize that development, that particular part in the child's life that they can feel secure in their development. They can feel self-esteem, again, in their growth. They can feel the sense of support on both sides in their adolescence. Now, this comes in at a great time to speak on stereotype. What are the stereotypes that supports or even damage emotional support? Fathers are stereotyped all the time. Single father versus a single mother. What is the difference? What is the damaging or what is the bad or good in this realm? When you have a single mother, she is not only looking for a companion, but also a secure provider for her children. Whether she says it or not, that's the reality. When there's a single father, he's looking for companionship for him because she's not looking for security if she's already meeting him with children. So he has to bait it. He has to do it where he got to do double standard. He got to look out for the well-being of the child, but at the same time, look out for his interest of a companion and the safety and security for his child, not provide for the child because he's already doing it. He's been ordained with that title of being the provider, right? So it's harder. It doesn't make it better, and it's not a competition, but it's harder because it's always a double-edged sword when it comes to fatherhood. So it's harder when you are a single father because you are looked at as Superman or super strong because you're supposed to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, independent, strong, right? Mighty. And all that is just another way of saying an excuse that we're not going to help you. We're not going to support you. We're not going to help you with your, independence. We're not going to, you don't need nothing. And that is a false narrative. That is a false narrative, right? The other part to this is fathers are emotionally less involved than the mother. Well, I have met many mothers who are harder than most fathers. And let me tell you, I ain't talking about their beauty or their looks. I'm talking about they are hard, okay, emotionally withdrawn, and it's always a drama. I have met some who are stern, militant, drill sergeant, if you will, right? And they're not emotionally attached to their sons or daughters. It's all about getting that diploma, getting that, that working, right? It's all about the result. The job must be done. It doesn't mean that they are emotionally there because they have traumas that they are working through. They have regrets. They have, feelings like anyone else. And they cannot be weak, right? Or appear weak like most men are labeled to be if they think in this realm because they have emotional ties or they withdrawn or they got traumas that prevent them from being themselves or reveal their vulnerability. And you have many women who have been through many things, abuse and all, mental, drugs, you name it, who have real life trauma that prevents them from being emotionally vulnerable, just like men. So that stereotype is out of the park. It doesn't make sense because it's not only one way versus another, but this is society, double standard, right?
Hey y'all, it's your girl, Rosa Marie. And if you are enjoying this episode, check out Child Care Made Simple, the podcast to help you, the daycare owner, human resource professional, and policymaker navigate ever-changing landscape of childcare by providing you simple, safe, and effective solutions. I am the owner of Marvelous Minds Academy in Rochester, New York. My mission is to leave the world better than I found it by ensuring childcare is not a barrier to progress for parents and helping young learners think limitless. Subscribe to the Child Care Made Simple podcast on the Jazzcast Pros Network, available right here on the podcast player you're listening to right now.
The other part is fathers are often denied or they are stereotyped openly because this is the norm, right? And that they don't support the children emotionally. Fathers, men, are stronger nurturer. Let me just put this out there respectfully. Fathers are stronger nurturer. Although they are not the most known for being emotional involved or emotional present, they are stronger nurturer because they come with the authority of being graceful, of being humbled. And I'm talking about fathers who know themselves. Fathers who know themselves, not the ones in trauma, not the one who's being abused, not the one who is angry and emotionally confused. Fathers who know themselves enough to know how it feels and what that pain resembles and how to work through it. They know and have the knowledge and wisdom to overstand. By working together, we can overcome this adversity, this pain, this sense of trauma, or this milestone or plateau in your life. As men, we have the idea to do so. We may not always be able to articulate that, but we have an idea. And we cannot often do it by ourselves because we are not an island. And it's harder when our empress, our divine Black woman, and women in general are life givers are not on board. It makes it harder when we cannot communicate. We cannot come to a decision. We cannot co-parent. We cannot respect one another enough to let that point in our life or in the child's life allow it to manifest, overcome, and grow stronger in peace. We can't. We got too much important shit to do, apparently. We can't think or do anything else. Also, fathers are not prone to emotional bonding. In fact, it is more important that a father is emotionally binding in a positive way towards his child development. If a child can see that a father can be vulnerable with them, talk with them, make sense, discipline, it is emotional and it is strongly developing the child to instill to them how to cope with themselves. Just saying, folks, I didn't make this up. Here's another one that this really gets me. I know we're just talking about co-parenting, but respectful co-parenting and collaboration. The mother should not have higher authority than the father, no more than the father should not have higher authority than the mother. It's called co-parenting for a reason. That means we are equal, right? Because we both know my manhood into your womanhood equalize us once we have this child. Let me say this again. My manhood plus your womanhood equalize us. You understand? It equalizes us to know that half of this child It's me and you. Co-parenting, collaboration. That means it should not be a dilemma or a problem for us to co-parent our child. It should not be a money thing. It should not be a style or trend. It should not be a goal getter. Again, money thing. And it should not be a power thing. Co-parenting, respecting and respectful co-parenting. Let me stress that. It is successful when your parenting strategies can be positive outcomes, techniques, and it can lead to the fulfillment and development in your child. Let that sink in for a little bit. Share tips, share advice, right? For fathers, it's important for us to fostering healthy co-parenting relationship by simply humbling ourselves, knowing who we're dealing with, and know the difference between compromising and making decisions. When you're compromising, sometimes it can come off as begging or just a win-lose situation. But when I'm having a relationship with you, my other half, I'm also mindful, respectful, and I'm considerate. But I'm firm and I'm headstand about what is best for our child. Never my child, our child. And I'm communicating truthfully enough to allow you to know where I stand, and I'm respectful enough to know and overstand where you stand, how we can go down the middle. Make this a win-win situation. Nothing else to say about it, not more to go about it. This is what it is. Okay? 4, fathers, allowing ourselves to have a sense of balance, right? Navigating work life, home life, me time must be a balancing act. Imagine, I say the word balancing, not balance, balancing acts. That means there's a constant thing happening. We must balance our fatherhood, our fathering, and our self-care as a priority. And it must have place, time, and it must be, I want to say organized, but it's kind of hard depending on each of our lives because we both have different environments. We have different cultures. We have different aspects in our life. We see things differently, all about the perspective. However, exploring and dedicating, right, a balanced sense of fathering or fatherhood between work, commitment, family, and responsibility. As a man, as a father, you must learn this balance because it's very important because you can go to the deep end. You can be emotionally there, but not physically. You could be physically gone and emotionally damaging because you're not there or you're not paying attention. You can be abusive, not realizing you are because you're not, again, prioritizing work, me, and family. Work, me, and family. That in itself is a wrong category. It should be me, family, work, not the other way around. Listen to the words I just said. It should be me as an individual, manhood, right? Family, I wish I could rate, gone together, join, together, work. That means I go out and I make a means to an ends so I can do the same thing again. Me as self-care, family, my whole section, my whole divinity, my life, my center of my universe. Okay? Then that second is just me, family. Work, now work can be any time. Depending on what you accept and what you are dealing with, it should be any time. That's what I mean by the balance, right? Should I give you more time to catch up? But nonetheless, rewind, catch up. Shaping our children and our generation. I truly believe in every generation, and I do mean this, in every generation, right up to the segregation, to what you name it. Every generation will complain about the next generation versus the other generation and always say and claim that they are the best and what they are. I truly believe that every generation have your unique ability to master and overcome a lot of issues within their own generation and era of life if they simply respect and love one another. Creating such rift of who is better and what's not, and what I did back in my time, what I did. I mean, every parent and every one of us have experienced this. When I was younger, this happened. When I was this happened. That's not the truth. We all are the best of our generations. We are the best of our generation. The generation now versus what was and what we were. Yes, we had a little tougher time. Yes, we had a little thicker skin. Yes, we had opportunity to socialize, develop socially, I should say, and develop what we call common sense. Well, common sense is only common as the sense you are given. So if you did nothing but stupidity and ignorance, that's your common to the sense of what you think is right and wrong, right? I don't see the wrong. But nonetheless, every generation will always claim to be the best. Respect that. Every generation will be the best in their era. Respect that. The reason why I said respect that is because there is no generation that came after a generation that could be better than the next generation. Because the next generation didn't come yet. They had to learn from the past generation. The past generation wasn't that they was wrong or bad or worse. It just means we learned from that generation and we did better than that generation. The reason we find turmoil in this generation because we don't respect the generation. Because the generation which is here is what we created. We created this generation. The moping, the depression, the mental health, the overwhelming knowledge of being all that you can be because we say so. We created that atmosphere. We created that environment. We created this type of family structure. No one knows their role anymore. Everybody wants to be mother, father, son, daughter, uncle / grandfather. Everybody wants to be every role because it's ordained. It's trending. It's a style. Everybody wants the validation of being the one. What it used to be and what it has to be in the past, despite the wrongs. What it has to be in the past is that it wasn't the one. It was always a legion. It was always a unity, a community, a village. Whether you was lynching, putting together a picnic, having a family, building a family, it was always a unity or gravitating to a village mindset. And the reason why I use that word lynching and those things, because believe it or not, despite the evil and the wickedness in 1910 in that era, they never did it alone. So let's get out of the nonsense bullshit beef of what generation is better and what's stronger and what is this. Every generation, I believe, again, I say, have the ability of being the best in their era. The argument makes no more sense than saying who is better, Jordan or LeBron's. The thing is, it depends on the generation which you speak of. Me personally, I am in the era of Jordan. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't respect LeBron's ability and his talents and things of that nature. But if you ask me who's the best and how is the best, the thing is, the difference between now and then is that back then, respect the legends before. You get what I'm saying? They learned from the legends before and they did likewise and more. The difference between now and then is that now everybody's taking something that's already been invented and already is there and trying to make it their own versus giving tribute to the pioneers, to the ancestors, to the days before forefathers, and respect due, and moving on and saying, because of this, I was able to step on this plateau and move and rise above what was there already. And the problem with the leadership now is that there's no successor. Everybody think they're going to rule for life, whatever that means. Fathers, name your successor. Meaning, grow your children, grow your community, grow the people amongst you, raise them as leaders, as powerhouses. It's not about followers because not every man is a king and no more than every woman is a king. But in their own right, in their own existence, they are the queen and king of their realm, of their universe, of their divinity and destiny. That's all I got to say about it. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not even going to chop it up any further. I'm going to say that in love and in unity and humility, in grace of the Most High, Jah, Rastafari. No, I say, please be the father you wish you had. That means the influential role which you are possessing, which you are representing, shaping the children's values and inspiration, right? And life choices. You're not going to like everything they do. You're not going to be in everything they do. But you can support them emotionally, physically, and mentally, and especially emotionally. Safeguard and help them with their self-esteem, with their adolescence, We have too much of these children, big for no reason, powerful for no reason, and Lord knows they lack the development to handle the simplicity of being a warrior, of being a man, of being a daughter. They lack the love and understanding for themselves, much less what they need to do to overcome the world itself. Please, my brothers, and understand this. Please understand. In conclusion, understand. Encouraging your children, your partner, your co-parent, encouraging relationship, co-parenting, respect, right? Encouraging love. Speak in love, even in discipline, speak in love. If she is wrong, you don't need to cuss her to say she's wrong, but you can say you're wrong and know how to say it. You say it in love. And a lot of us say things we think in love means I got to be butterflies and roses and, smell good garden. No. In love means that I speak in truth, reciprocity, justice. I speak with conviction. And I speak with ambition and gracefulness, then with the authority of the Most High. I say this in love, and I say this with experience and wisdom, that what I'm saying is not out of malice, it's not out of instant gratification or ignorance, it's not out of spitefulness, for the general love for my child and wantingness for them to develop the fulfillment, the which that I am ordained and authorized by the Most High, to make sure that they raise to be more and better than I. That is my segment for today. I thank you for listening. I encourage you to leave a message or a comment. I tell you, wherever you're listening to, would it be Apple, would it be Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to, and you listen to this right now, I thank you, because you could be anywhere. Heed my words and take not my warning, but the truth. Fathers, be available, be present. That means be present mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Be present and ready, because again, fatherhood nowadays is a joke. Fatherhood nowadays is perceived to be a joke, especially depending on where you are in this world. You are a joke. Because there's no way you can live in a community that's so dismayed and so out of order. And you thinking that somehow, somewhere, your child is going to be the better off because you're not going to care about what happens outside of your household, much less outside in the community. Not recognizing that you're not preparing your child for the world in its full entirety if you're not about that community or that village life. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes us, us together to do this. We are not all knowing. And there's no direct manual. There's guidance. There's influence. There's inspiration, right? There's levity in the example. But at best, when you are a village, everybody chimes in. Everybody can give a little something to make something bigger. Let us do what we got to do, fathers. Let us be present. Allow us to unveil, right, our true potential, in emotional potential, our physical full potential, our mental capacity at its length and full potential, and strengthen all our grace in our spiritual potential. Blessed guidance. Thank you all for listening, and thank you for your choice of Fatha Torch. And also check out Creative Pizza, the most casual personal pizza you can ever get. Fresh dough, fresh veggies, unlimited at that, right? Homemade sauce, vegan meatballs, and sexy cheese.